Esperanza Pense, donde la esperanza pense. Welcome to Esperanza Pense, where hope wins. Today we are going to talk about Aries, Aries energy, Aries vibes, forward motion, but even bringing things from the past with us that is worth it as we push forward. We still have Neptune in Aries, making like these dreams become active, right? So we might be in our feels, we might be feeling extra motivated towards compassionate and righteous action, like what we consider to be righteous action. So speaking from the past, I have to pull this up, this shirt. I don't know if you can see, it's got like these really cute ties on it, like drawstrings on it, and a motorcycle. So this shirt has been rocking with me for like 25 years. So there's some stuff that we just got to bring with us that can push forward with us into the future, whether that's like our favorite shirt, whether that's our favorite people, whether that's our favorite snacks, whether that's our favorite activity, who we are as a person, you know, whether that's our health, our vitality. So we can bring a lot of the stuff that we learned from the last cycle into this new start energy for us, right? So let's think about where Aries is in our birth charts. And if you're not sure, go to astro.com, put in your birth information, or hit me up for a personal reading. I am still open for business, so I'll see you soon. I would like to really quickly thank all of you who still stop by my channel and like, share, subscribe, leave comments on these short videos that I've been doing lately. This here, right here, is the first 10 card Celtic Cross extended length video, like actual video that I've done here for like a week, I think. I've been channeling my energy somewhere, and I hope that you really stay tuned. I look forward to speaking more about that in the near future. Let's talk about Aries energy. What's Aries energy? Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. I'm wearing red. I'm embodying Mars energy. Mars is associated with being the ruler of Aries. And Mars is action, aggression, athleticism, getting things started. Maybe not necessarily getting things done, but being strategic enough to at least, you know, employ all of the available options, okay? For example, Mars is going to be having to work with getting that aspect with Pluto, so that's sort of like a deep and powerful, that could be physically powerful. That can give us mental stamina too, and that can give us more of like the long game strategy. Okay, we do have Venus and Uranus still kind of working together, so that can be some surprising beauty in the midst of all this Martian energy. In Mars, we have Chiron conjunct this new moon, giving us an opportunity to get really flippin' active in terms of taking charge of what we need to do to access our own physical healing for ourselves. We need to understand that it's not what is going on out there, like it's what's going. I mean, that sounds so cheesy, that sounds so corny, right? But seriously, like, what can you do something about? Let's focus on that. What is the healthiest thing about you? Emphasize it. What's the unhealthiest thing about you? De-emphasize it. It's like super easy, but it's not, right? But Aries likes, Aries, horned sheep, right? The ram, they can butt heads, right? They can be even stubborn in a way, but more just like active to maintain their sovereignty, active to maintain their own virility, right? And if that's being stepped upon, Aries energy is quick to react. So, as I often say on this channel, we're going to be channeling our fire energy appropriately. So let's think about Aries energy. Let's think about new starts. Let's think about Saturn and Neptune conjunct at 0 degrees Aries, and now they've moved on. And what seeds have you noticed starting to sprout since then? And what are you going to tend to? And what weeds are you going to pull? Okay, before we move on. So now we have Mercury in Aries as well. So that's another indication that all of this forward motion and the way that we speak and the way that we communicate and the way that we hear things, there might be a little bit of clutter to cut through. With Mercury and Pisces, we had that dreamy effect, and people could get away with like saying beautiful things, and if it sounded good enough, then we would accept that as an answer. Now with Mercury gone into Aries, we might have a new start of clarity, mental clarity. Oh, here's our jumper, Temperance reverse. Okay, so it's not a time to be that chill. Temperance reversed is an invitation to actually like dig deeper, actually go further. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least you left it all on the court. Temperance upright is usually a card of staying chill, staying balanced, staying with the flow, being in a peaceful, angelic manner, and being in a state of motion, yet allowance, being a state of grace and beauty. Temperance reversed invites us to pour all that out and to get out of the water and into the heat. Get ahead of it. So that's going to flavor our reading. We're going to do our 10-card Celtic cross. This is for the new moon in Aries at 27 degrees and conjunct Chiron, where we're going to have a chance to really heal some long-standing issues. So where do we want to go for the next 165 years? Like, do you often plan just for yourself, or do you plan for how your actions are going to affect generations behind you? Because this is a good opportunity to get into the zone. And if you can't make a root chakra action, if you can't like offer money to someone, or offer food to someone, or offer life force energy, or offer even like your chi to someone, if you don't have energy for certain things, then how are you going to channel your energy so that it reinvests itself? If you can't, for whatever reason, approach certain groups to support you, and if you're on your own, and if you need to rejuvenate your own energy, what types of exercises can you do? Like if you can't do the traditional push-ups all the way on the floor, can you use the countertop as a prop and do them anyway until you're strong enough to? What are the baby steps that you could take in Aries, not just for yourself, but to lay the foundation for, a healthy road ahead and behind you, right? Okay. So let's pray over these cards, and we'll pull our 10-card Celtic cross. Thank you so much for fine-tuning your free will and intuition with me. Okay. Aries new moon, 17th of April 2026. Cool. All right. This is us. Here, let's look at the cards. You can see, right? Oh gosh, this isn't a live recording. I'm gonna upload this, so I'm like asking. Let me know in the comments how this is going for ya. How is this Aries new moon energy zooming its way into your consciousness? This is us, the querent. This is our challenge, the near past, the near future, our conscious awareness, our subconscious awareness. How do we see ourselves right now? How do other people see us? Or maybe what's in our environment, what's surrounding us? What are our hopes and fears? Or in other words, like what are we projecting right now? Like what kind of energy are we kind of like pushing at, right? And we all know how that goes, right? Like the more you push your energy, that's also something that Mars can be pushy. Mars can be very forward, if you will, and a lot of times that's not attractive, right? So that's that position in the spread. And the likely outcome, if we keep doing what we're doing, what are we going to keep getting? And if we make some changes, you know, then that's what's going to change. Okay? Remember, temperance reversed. Our fire energy is being invited to ignite and keep rolling. Okay? So we got to keep putting wood on the fire. Dead Wolf Resistance 13 knows all about keeping a fire lit, and he gives a lot of instructional videos about that on his channel. Sometimes he comments on my videos all the time, actually. Thank you so much, and thank you everybody who shows up here. I know I said it already, but I'm going to say it again because I love you all, because you know what's really special to me about doing this work with you all when we do our intuitive work together is that, like Randy says, like our friend Randy says, that helps me sing my soul song. Like you're on a, oh yeah, speaking of, this is my soul song. The star card. Can you see? I keep asking. Star. My friend Mary gave me this. She's a farmer and she's awesome. But yeah, we both connect with the star card in tarot, and the star is what Esperanza Bense is all about, keeping the hope alive. And because you're here and because you like, share, subscribe, click on the video, we interact. You know, so many of you have booked readings. I'm so thankful because it keeps me going, you know? So, thank you. Let's read our cards. I'll put timestamps if I remember. I've been kind of like really in the zone on this project, so it's cool to do a 10-card Celtic cross. I've been so astrology based lately. Thank you for fine-tuning your free will and intuition with me. We are Six of Wands reversed. Fire energy, wands. That's not surprising. The challenge is Five of Pentacles. In the near past, we've got the Hierophant. Near future, we've got the moon. So a lot of times when we have tarot, 10-card Celtic cross, or tarot for the moon, I pull the moon card. Our conscious awareness, Eight of Pentacles reversed. Subconscious awareness, King of Wands reversed, King of Rods reversed. How do we see ourselves? The Queen of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. How do other people see us? Four of Wands reversed. Our hopes and fears. What are we projecting? The Sun reversed. And a likely outcome. Five of Cups, if we keep doing what we're doing. So as a reminder, I'm reading energy for the moon, but you can take it personal if you want to. Sometimes it is personal, especially like, oh my gosh, I think that Haley Comet Astrology, actually the title of her Magic Monday astrology weekly video this week was This Time It's Personal. And it is true that Aries energy is very me. You know, it's not necessarily always cooperative, but it's always ready, you know what I mean, to try. Aries energy is ready to try. Aries energy is ready to start. Aries energy is ready to get going. And Aries energy wanted it done yesterday. You know, and that's good, because after all this like Piscean fog, I mean, we're still dealing with Neptune, but we're dealing with Neptune now. Neptune's not dealing with us so much anymore, if that makes any sense. With the Six of Wands reversed, this fire energy is not necessarily appreciated by everybody else in our community. So it's imperative that we do have outlets such as, for example, like our YouTube channels, or somewhere where we can express ourselves creatively and get cheered on by the people around us. Sometimes when you have a Six of Wands reverse situation, you know, also maybe you went out there, maybe you're trying to shoot your shot and it just didn't work out this time. You know, you might be feeling kind of like that, when is it ever going to happen for me energy. You know, you might be seeing who you perceive to be people out there just nailing it left and right, you know, and you're wondering, why hasn't this victory energy accessed me yet, right? So this new moon is a really good opportunity to do what you can. Do some leg squats then. You know what I'm saying? Like if the victory energy, if the wand, if the fire energy, if the spark of the match hasn't blown your way, and if people aren't noticing you, make yourself more noticeable. Wear red. You know, that's a color that a lot of people, their eyes get drawn to naturally, right? And think about the reason for the victory. For this soldier that went out into battle, the reason for the victory, the reason for the battle was the peace. He wanted the peace wreath. He wanted to come back and let everybody know that, you know, he handled it, right? So I guess the challenge here is financial. Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is poverty consciousness, poverty energy. This is not having the resources that we want or think we need in order to accomplish the things. This is codependent energy too. Do you see how those two people there are kind of clutching each other, or she's trying to care for this other person who is clearly beyond, you know, she looks more like a nun than a brain surgeon to me, and that person looks like they need a little more medical attention than she can provide, but they're sticking with the plan that they have anyway, even though that plan is not working. They're clutching to each other out of fear of lack, and because they have the fear of lack, and because they're clutching to each other instead of taking care of themselves, then they do have lack. Then they do not have the money or the resources. They don't understand that, like, right behind them is spiritual protection, spiritual guidance, money, resources. Okay, so when we see Five of Pentacles in a challenge spot in our reading, we need to think about Are we cooperating with others, or is that at both of our expense? And another 5 card here in the near past, the Hierophant. Well then, that is doing what we should, that is falling in line, that is understanding hierarchies, Hierophant, hierarchy, hierarchical thinking. 5s are tough numbers for me in the tarot. Are they tough numbers for you? 5s are tough numbers for me in the tarot because although they make the pentacle, right, they're a number of tension. They're a number of, motion, but at the same time, they're a number of restriction. There are a number of, you just have to do what you have to do sometimes, and it might not necessarily feel that productive. The Hierophant energy is institutions that, you have to act a certain way in order to have access. You have to go through certain rituals in order to be allowed to exist there, right? The Hierophant has to do with certain people having access, for example, to the resources that we don't feel like we have in the 5 of Pentacles. These 2 people are freezing outside of the church in their raggedy, daggedy bandages and stuff, literally clutching onto each other, bleeding, okay, spreading their sangre all over the place. And meanwhile, this cat is all up in the church with the keys to the kingdom, giving off their interesting kind of peace sign. Well, we know it's not a peace sign, but you know what I'm talking about. And then their antenna is tilted towards heaven, but you have to go through them to get the keys, right? So the Hierophant in the near past is tradition. The masculine, patriarchal structures that exist in our life that mean well, such as marriage, institutionalized religion, the boundaries that are set in place to have a proper society, right? But in the near future here, we're moving towards the moon, the darkness of the moon at that. I mean, literally and figuratively, we just had Artemis apparently visit the dark side of the moon. We're having a new moon right now. So this is the moon darkening, the moon going dark, us getting a chance to sort of crawl out from the watery depths and still not be seen fully in the dark. The moon card to me has a lot of relationship between the dark star Sirius, Cancerian zodiac energy, and the fixed star Canopus, which are at this right around 15 degrees in the sky, depending. And those 2 pillars in the background with the moon on the path are the pillars of knowledge that remain fixed, steady, but those are also the towers that fall when Uranus enters Gemini on the 26th of April and destroys our illusions. The moon represents dream time. The moon represents an object that we're not sure about. Are we sure that it exists? Are we sure that if it exists, that it's natural, made by nature, made by God, made by us, made by whatever, consciousness itself? It could be that the astrology that I use, the astrology that I can't see with my naked eye, it's full of symbols. But it's full of symbols that so many of us believe in. And they're occulted. And even though we don't know why we believe, and even though we don't know why it works, it works. So the moon is an invitation for us to lean into these energies. Maybe follow the cycle of the moon. Understand what a moon in Aries is all about. Understand to plant your seeds at the crescent. Not now, not now. Now is dark. Now's the time to eat a salad. Okay, maybe put on some socks, some slippers. Take advantage of that Venus in Taurus. Get the tangles out of your hair. I've been hearing a lot about tangles, entanglement, hair being as dumb as a bag of hair or some dumb shit like that. Like, what are these symbols that reflect trying to tell us or trick us? Hair is powerful, and so is moon energy, whether you can see it or not. Eight of Pentacles reversed in our conscious awareness draws attention to us wanting to make shifts and changes on the work front. If we show up and we do the same darn thing every single day, but it's amounting to us like draining ourselves of our resources rather than stacking our resources up for ourselves and moving up to the Ten of Pentacles, where we actually leave a legacy, not just for ourselves, but for the people who are coming behind us. Like I said at the beginning of this video when I was talking about the seeds that we're going to plant with this new Aries energy, particularly the energy that we're working with for the next 165 years with the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries that happened on February 20th. With this card in reverse, we might be rethinking, how am I an apprentice to life? Am I showing up every single day and working and working and working for basically nothing? How do I recuperate my resources so that my resources reinvest in me and not just everybody else around me? How can I make my product worthwhile so that while I keep refining my craft, people value me, my workspace values me, what I put in every single day is of value to me? How can I rethink that? In our subconscious awareness, with the King of Wands reversed, King of Rods reversed, whether we realize it or not, we might have some chironic wounds to attend to in the father, creative, reproductive realm of our life. Is there a place to where like you wish that you had birthed something and then you didn't? Subconsciously, are you feeling that you don't have the virility, you don't have the vril, as the kids would say, to complete the task? Are we subconsciously self-sabotaging because we're not used to taking charge of our own reality? We're not used to taking the fire. We're used to balancing the fire that someone else brings to us. We're not used to being the ones to step forward. How do we see ourselves? Queen of Pentacles reversed. So this is the same type of energy. These are the same types of insecurities, but with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, we're dealing with the resources. Once again, we're dealing with not having confidence about our physical resources, not having the confidence or the actual strength to monetize ourselves appropriately. With the with the Queen of Pentacles upright, this is a person who is a Taurus, a Virgo, a Capricorn person, somebody who is very practical. They understand what their seed is. They know exactly what to do with it. They know exactly where they're going to plant it. They know they can call in the Empress for an investment, a unicorn type of situation if they need to, but they don't have to, because the Queen of Pentacles is able to work it out herself. She might have a king in her midst. She might have been born this way. Lots of times the kings and queens are born and the emperors and empresses are self-made. When we look at these archetypes in the news and in our lives, but when we see ourselves as the Queen of Pentacles reversed, we might see ourselves as somebody who was born with resources, but maybe we don't have them now. a lot of us that were born in the Pluto in Libra generation and moving into the Pluto in Scorpio generation were born with resources. There was a myth of a middle class that just doesn't exist anymore. Maybe we made an investment that didn't work out. Maybe we put our energy to a certain place in our lives. We planted certain seeds and now we're stuck with them. Queen of Pentacles reversed could just mean that this character within ourselves needs a little extra support right now. So like I said earlier, why don't we lean on the Venus and Taurus? Why don't we lean on making our lives just slightly more beautiful in an active way? The other day I went outside, just snipped some of the greenery that, you know, I mean, there's not a lot, but what little there is, like, we could bring the outdoors indoors. We could make these small offerings to ourselves and language, symbolic language with the universe, saying that, hey, you know, I can accept nice things. Four of Wands reversed in our environment, or how people see us. This is a move. This is, you know, changes on the home front. This is parties that we might have to say no to. This is Four of Wands upright is usually us investing our 2 wands with somebody else and then making something happen, creating a stable home foundation. This is not having this is being a seed in the wind. The Four of Wands reversed in our environment could mean that changes are happening in our patria, our home country even. There could be shifts and changes on the ground beneath our feet. There could be, you know, with this, we have a lot of reverse wands cards right here. And then we also have the Leo, the sun reversed coming up here too. So it looks like the fire energy that we're working with right now on the home front and our subconscious energy as far as victory is concerned for the outcome. You know, the sun reversed, this is ego expression not working out the way that we had hoped. This is, when we have the sun upright, it's fun. It's something that you want to be associated with. It's a person that you want to be around. It's somebody who's radiating and giving other people life. With the sun reversed, that could be egoic action. That could be taking this Aries fire and just really taking a blowtorch with your own personality and not leaving room or space or air or, you know, causing all the water around you to boil, because there are some people who are more water based and we have to allow them to simmer, you know what I mean? The sun reversed can be narcissistic energy. The sun reversed can be a Leo or a fire sign, a Sagittarius, an Aries person that might need a little bit extra support so that they can team up with people, so that they can, you know, be a little bit more accessible to their own true selves. This sun upright invites us to shine as our true selves, and this sun reverse in our hopes and fears position and the energy that we're projecting, it's like, are we projecting a clear version of who we are from a heart space here? Can you see these? And then the Five of Pentacles as our likely outcome if we keep doing what we're doing. Five of Pentacles comes in, and this is grief, sorrow, sadness. This is us just having to take the L and let it go and understand that the Six of Cups, oh, did I say Pentacles? I meant Five of Cups. Five of Cups is a situation where stuff has been spilt and things have happened. We're allowed to be sad about it for a while. But this is not an energy to linger. And we have 2 fives in this reading that have come up as challenges. The Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. So Aries will let you cry because you earned it, but not for too long. 2 tears in a bucket, motherfuck it, move on, right? not to be like that, but it's an Aries new moon. So let's see what our synchronicity card is for this new moon in Aries. Thank you for joining me here for all this time. Let's see here. We have the Synchronicity deck by Kathy Nichols. I love this deck. It's so good. It just hits every single time. Literally, it's so good. The other day we were talking in a really awesome, I'm in a group text and we were talking about rest, and then literally I did this. I was playing with the cards and the rest card like jumped out. We have strength and princess. Keep your strength, princess. Maybe there's a princess figure. Maybe there's somebody who we consider, she looks kind of like, she's a horse girl, huh? So, who out there is involved with gentle strength? Who out there is a princess? Who out there might step it up and actually be the hero that we need in this space and time? Could be you, princess. Could be me. Could be any of us. Could be all of us. It is all of us. All right, I love you. Bye.